What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't think on that?
Can't speak on it.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
You no personal opinion, nothing?
Yeah.
No, you gotta calm down. Listen to me.
Hey, come on now. It's trying to get it. Come on now. It's trying to get.
After recordings of Gervonta Davis's conversation with his corner were leaked, it became clear to the boxing world that trouble was brewing. But things escalated even further when audio of Davis's exchange with the referees also surfaced. This was the tipping point, the key factor behind Lamont Roach's decision to file an appeal.
Steve said fight out of the clinch. Yeah. That's what we were gonna do. He came in the back and was like, I'm gonna let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as you...
Unfortunately, the new State Athletic Commission chose to dismiss his efforts, refusing to take the recording seriously. In the end, their response only sparked even more controversy within the boxing world.
The 10-8. Simple. So I was like, all right, the ref started counting. When I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So
the New York State Athletic Commission is still reviewing referee Steve Willis's questionable handling of Lamont Roach Jr.'s knockdown of Gervonta Davis on Saturday night. A panel on ProBox TV analyzed the situation on Wednesday. If they make the right call, Lamont Roach wins the fight, said veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael, who now runs the Fight Freaks Unite Substack. He emphasized that Willis's poor officiating cost Roach a championship and the chance to hand America's top fighter his first loss. Speaking on his podcast, host Teddy Atlas weighed in on the refereeing, sharing his honest thoughts when asked about the controversial moment in round 9.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical. But this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's gonna make...
He suggested that the referee wasn't good enough, and even hinted that he might have been bribed, saying the ref wouldn't have done the same for Roach. He criticized the quality of officiating, saying boxing needs better trained and more knowledgeable referees. While he didn't question the ref's honesty outright, he emphasized the need for officials who can confidently make the right calls. He also believed that if the roles were reversed, Roach wouldn't have received the same leniency as Gervonta Davis, simply because Tank is a star.
Is going to reprimand this referee. What are they going to do? I mean, it happens too often. It's happened too often. I don't know. We need a national commission. That's the only thing I could think of, but we're not.
He went on to say that he believes a new attendance record was set at the Barclays Center, possibly even a gate record. He pointed out that the venue has hosted major concerts, fights, and basketball games, but this event pulled in huge numbers. According to him, Gervonta Davis is a star who attracts crowds, has a massive fan base, and consistently delivers strong pay-per-view sales. While he didn't have the exact numbers for this fight, he emphasized that Tank is one of the few fighters who always brings in solid pay-per-view figures.
One right now, but the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud, we talked about the controversial part, but I want to finish.
He pointed out that the referee allowing Gervonta Davis to take a knee, something not allowed in boxing, without ruling it a 10-8 round was a serious issue. He noted that Tank had just been hit with a jab before that moment. He made it clear that he wasn't attacking Davis personally, acknowledging that some already think he defends or praises him too much. He emphasized that Tank is an exceptional fighter, well-rounded, powerful inside and out, patient, defensively sharp with fast hands, great combinations, strong body shots, and smart counterpunching. However, in this case, he believed Davis got away with something he shouldn't have. Not because of the fighters, but because of the sports administration. He stressed that these kinds of issues keep happening, and it's time for them to stop.
The great part, that was high-level boxing. That was two guys at the highest level showing their skills.
Teddy Atlas also weighed in, saying a referee can't ignore something that isn't in the rule book. He pointed out that Tank got hit with a jab, and a second or two later, he took a knee. By definition, that's a knockdown. He emphasized that boxing isn't football, where you can call a fair catch or take a knee for a touchback. The rules exist for a reason. Even Terrence Crawford, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters alongside Inoue and Usyk, reacted by saying he had no idea that was allowed, joking that he must have been asleep when they passed that rule. Atlas added that maybe Crawford was out training or on a run when this supposed rule was introduced, except of course it doesn't actually exist. He doubled down, saying boxing isn't like the Indianapolis 500 where you can pull into pit row for repairs. There's no timeout for a quick fix in this sport. Tank went down on a knee, and Roach, whether you credit him or think he hesitated, had every right to go after him. After all, the golden rule in boxing is defend yourself at all times.
Make a guy miss and you counter, and then all of a sudden you're in front of him. Boop! You're the invisible man. You're on the. That's sweet science too. Yes, and it's easier to see. It grabs your attention. Oh wow, look at that guy. He's on the outside.
He pointed out that in boxing, fighters are allowed to hit their opponents even if they're turning or walking away, unless the referee steps in or the bell rings. In this case, Roach had every right to throw a punch when Tank turned away. He praised Roach for being a gentleman and a sportsman, but made it clear that he could have thrown a left hook or a straight left, given that he's a southpaw. If Roach had taken that shot, he might have even knocked Tank down. It wouldn't have looked great, but it would have been within the rules. The real issue, he argued, was Tank and the referee. The ref allowed Davis to take a knee, go to his corner, get whatever was in his eye wiped away, and then continue fighting. If the referee had correctly ruled it a 10-8 round, even though Tank wasn't hurt, Roach wouldn't have gotten a draw. He would have won the title, and for those who bet on Roach at time 900 odds, that outcome would have been huge.
In the middle of the furnace, with all the flames and everything going, and you don't get burnt up, you don't get torched, you don't get scorched. That is...
He wrapped up his thoughts by saying that Roach essentially bullied the bully. He compared it to a schoolyard where a bully usually has his way, until one day someone stands up to him. Suddenly the bully isn't as aggressive anymore. He recalled something his cousin used to say, when a fighter relies on intimidation, but the opponent refuses to be intimidated and instead becomes the aggressor, the whole dynamic changes. That's exactly what happened here, and while most people might not talk about it, he felt it was important to point out.
You know something funny? When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win.
Roach, a former amateur rival of Davis, deserved to be the main headline after giving Tank the heavy 1600 favorite, the first blemish of his professional career. Their controversial majority draw at the Barclays Center not only impacted Roach's record, but also highlighted issues with the New York State Athletic Commission. The commission was far from transparent in the immediate aftermath, later claiming on Monday that a technical issue prevented them from reviewing the instant replay footage within the allotted time. By failing to call Davis's voluntary knee in round 9 what it truly was, a knockdown, they cost Roach a crucial 10-8 round. That scoring swing would have secured him the victory, the title, and potentially millions of dollars that could have come from entering the inevitable rematch as the defending champion.
Why not? What you talking about? They like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right? So... you know, that's how boxing works.
Regulators across the country weighed in on Wednesday, saying New York Commission head Matthew Delalio is in a tough spot trying to address the human error that led to the confusion. Referee Harvey Willis initially started an 8-count for Davis after he took multiple punches from Roach, but then stopped it, allowing Davis to take a knee and walk to his corner. There, his co-trainer, Calvin Ford, wiped his face with a towel. Davis later explained that he felt a sting from a hair chemical in his eye and was simply looking for relief. Some believe Delalio should deduct a point from Davis for the incident, and award Roach the WBA lightweight title after their controversial majority draw. Others argue that wouldn't be fair to Davis, a knockout artist who might have fought more aggressively in the final 3 rounds had he known he was officially down on the scorecards.
Wasn't in round number 9. Gervonta Davis takes a knee, landed a right hand, then 2 jabs afterward. What were you thinking when this happened? Were you surprised as everybody else? What was on your mind?
Man, I was surprised, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I thought it was a 10-8.
A panel consisting of retired California referee Jack Rice, trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards, and Pro Box TV analysts Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi unanimously agreed that Roach's bent knee met the definition of a knockdown. Pro Box TV founder Gary Jonas, who advises Roach, has since filed an official appeal with the New York Commission, requesting that Roach be declared the winner. The appeal cites multiple instances where referee Steve Willis could have deducted a point from Davis, allowing the knockdown, turning his back to Roach, walking to his corner mid-round, and Calvin Ford stepping into the ring to treat him. Edwards summed up the frustration saying, "People make mistakes, but these mistakes always seem to favor the A side." He acknowledged Willis's strong reputation, but suggested that, in this moment, the referee was simply caught off guard.
Started counting. When I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So now I'm just like, all right, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Did you think he was stopping the fight? He had a
Referee Jack Rice explained that officials have some discretion in how they handle a fight, as they are the sole arbiters in the ring. However, Paulie Malignaggi pushed back, stating, "You can't call your own timeout." Journalist Raphael also reported that there was an opportunity to review the replay of the knockdown, but it wasn't used. This led Chris Algieri and Malignaggi to agree on the best solution, an immediate rematch at Barclays Center in Brooklyn to settle the controversy once and for all.
I didn't think he was stopping the fight, but then again, like, when I look at him in the corner, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know now. I just don't know what's going on, besides the fact that
the New York State Athletic Commission has stated that it is still reviewing the situation, but one major question remains unanswered. What was going on with Gervonta Davis? While it was surprising to see the 30-year-old Baltimore native struggle against a massive underdog after years of dominance, the real shock came from how Lamont Roach looked in the ring. After moving up to lightweight, Roach appeared to be the bigger fighter, using his size, confidence, and shared history with Davis to put on the best performance of his career.
it's sad to say, you know, that's how boxing works. I'm not, like, totally upset. I figured with a superstar.
The biggest concerns surrounding Gervonta Davis weren't just about his performance in the ring, but also his mindset and unusual behavior before, during, and after the fight. This has led many to wonder, was this just an off night for one of boxing's pound-for-pound best? Or has Davis lost the fire and killer instinct that made him such a major star? While top boxers showing up late to media events isn't new, especially for Davis, who was nearly 2 hours late for his 2023 press conference with Ryan Garcia, this time, he took it to another level. Davis arrived nearly 5 hours late to his first event with Lamont Roach in New York, and then showed up 90 minutes late to last Friday's weigh-in. During fight week, Davis was his usual playful and relaxed self, but once the fight started, his focus seemed off. At one point, he even turned away from Roach twice to argue with referee Steve Willis, only to get hit with clean shots in return.
You won't get too much on paper, but shit, I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him, I was like, oh, they gonna give me a.
Prime video cameras also caught Gervonta Davis showing unusual behavior in the corner, at times yelling over his trainer Calvin Ford's advice, even shouting, "Listen to me," between rounds. Then, in the controversial 9th round, after Lamont Roach connected with a series of jabs, Davis began aggressively blinking his left eye before turning his back to the action and taking a knee. He quickly got back up and ran to his corner, where Ford used a towel to wipe his eye, a move that could have been grounds for disqualification under boxing rules. Referee Steve Willis initially began a mandatory 8 count, but stopped at 3, choosing instead to warn Davis before resuming the fight, another decision that has fueled debate over the fight's outcome.
Let the decision win. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, shit, here it goes. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with.
Not Only was Gervonta Davis's post-fight explanation peculiar, but his demeanor also seemed noticeably lighthearted despite coming dangerously close to losing both his title and unbeaten record. As the crowd booed him, Davis responded in a way that some felt screamed either embarrassment or disinterest. "I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in my eyes so the whey was like coming into my face when I was sweating, and it burnt my eyes," Davis said. Damn, why are y'all booing? Like I'm saying, these are real facts. Come on, man. Look at my hair. I just got my cake done. But it's all cool, man. You know how they get? They love you, then they hate you. Turn around, and they'll love you again. His reaction, coupled with the controversial nature of the decision, has only fueled more debate over his performance and mindset.
So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
Gervonta Davis, who holds a mandatory rematch clause, expressed his interest in running it back on social media Monday. However, during the post-fight press conference, he appeared more humble while reflecting on his performance, though his comments also revealed a lack of situational awareness regarding the rules. Nobody likes a draw from a guy who gets knockouts, and things like that, but it's cool, Davis said. "I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have done more. I was lost and lost track of the rounds. That's why we need ring girls. I didn't know what round it was. Facts." His admission of losing track of the rounds raised eyebrows, further fueling questions about his focus and mindset heading into a potential rematch.
No.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught.
Davis defended his decision to take a knee, explaining that he was trying to avoid getting caught while his eyes were burning, acknowledging the risk of getting knocked out in such a vulnerable state. "I didn't want to get caught while my eyes were burning. You can get knocked out like that, so I would rather take the knee, but I didn't really know that you could get disqualified for receiving mid-round corner assistance. When Willis started counting, I was like, what the hell? But it's cool." Meanwhile, in an IFL TV interview, Golden Boy's Colin McGann pointed to referee Steve Willis, criticizing his handling of the 9th round incident. McGann argued that Davis's action should have been ruled a knockdown, costing him a point and ultimately swinging the round in Roach's favor.
The decision, or I think the draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
Do you like the draw? Do you like the knee though? Was that a good call on the ref?
No, if you take the knee, man, when I...
Oscar De La Hoya expressed surprise that the referee allowed certain moments to unfold, especially given his experience as a professional official. The 52-year-old former boxer noted that Steve Willis, who has worked with Golden Boy Promotions, is usually a solid referee, making his decisions in the fight unexpected. However, what stood out even more to De La Hoya was Lamont Roach's performance. He praised Roach for putting Gervonta Davis in a tough spot, calling Davis a fantastic fighter. "I think Lamont Roach was at his best and fought an incredible fight against Gervonta Davis," De La Hoya said.
If you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking the point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking the point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little...
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn weighed in on the New York State Athletic Commission's reviews of the controversial fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. While he doesn't believe the commission will overturn the majority draw decision, he does expect a rematch to happen. Davis and Roach fought to a draw last Saturday at Barclays Center, but a key moment in the 9th round, where Davis took a voluntary knee without it being ruled a knockdown, has led to an official review.
Fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people...
According to Dan Rafael of Fight Freaks Unite, Lamont Roach's lawyer has appealed to have the fight result changed to a win for Roach, whether by decision, knockout, or disqualification. Eddie Hearn acknowledged the controversy but doesn't believe the New York State Athletic Commission will overturn the result. Speaking to Fight Hype on Tuesday, Hearn said, "No, I don't think they will." He also noted that the commission doesn't have the authority to mandate an immediate rematch. That decision lies with the World Boxing Association, which oversees the lightweight title. However, Hearn still expects a rematch to happen.
Saying, oh, that, you know, he should be disqualified, he went back to the corner, I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like Lamont.
Eddie Hearn believes the rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach is all but confirmed. Everything I'm hearing suggests it's happening. It's pretty much done, he revealed. Hearn also addressed the 9th round controversy, stating that Davis taking a knee should have been ruled a knockdown. If you take a knee and touch the canvas while punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown, he explained. While some argued Davis should have been disqualified for going back to his corner, Hearn disagreed. "I don't see that. It's more of a warning, but it was definitely a strange situation."
Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little weight.
The New York State Athletic Commission's review is still ongoing, with no final decision announced yet. Meanwhile, WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis's status as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters is now being questioned. While one judge scored the fight in his favor, the other two did not, resulting in a majority draw. The 9th round proved to be the turning point, featuring one of the fight's most unusual moments. After taking several hard shots from 29-year-old Lamont Roach, Davis suddenly dropped to one knee for a brief moment. That's all for now. For the latest updates on boxing news, events, and big moments, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications, so you never miss out on quality content. Until next time, peace out.